Every dream looks beautiful in the beginning, but behind every success story, there's a dark chapter, the part no one talks about. This is my story, young boxer who came so close to giving up that I almost lost everything including myself. But the moment I decided to quit, something happened that changed my life forever. I grew up in a small neighborhood in Alaska. My father, a retired soldier, was strict but full of love. When I was 10, my father took me to a boxing match. I remembered the sweat, the crowd, the sound of gloves cracking against skin. And from that day, he knew, I want to fight. I would shadow box in front of a mirror every night, pretending I was in Madison Square Garden. My father would smile and say, "One day, you'll be great, just don't ever quit." That sentence became my fuel. Years passed. I joined a local boxing gym. I trained like a madman, before sunrise, after work, during lunch breaks. I refused parties, sleepovers, even relationships, all for that dream. But the boxing world wasn't kind. I fought 5 amateur fights and lost all of them. The same people who once cheered now said, "Bro, maybe you're not cut out for this." My coach started paying less attention. Sponsors pulled out. I was broke, bruised, and doubting myself. Still, at night I would whisper, "One more try." One night, after a terrible loss, I limped home. I looked at my reflection in a cracked mirror. My face was swollen, my eye dark purple. I threw my gloves in the trash and sat on the floor. I thought about my friends who had stable jobs, families, cars, while I had nothing but pain. I told myself, maybe this dream isn't mine anymore. That night, I wrote a text to my coach. "Coach, I'm done. Thanks for everything." Before sending it, my phone buzzed. A voice message from my late father that I hadn't seen in years. I pressed play. "Daniel, if you're hearing this, it means I'm not there anymore. But I need you to promise me when life hits you hard. Don't stop swinging. You fight because you were born to. Remember why you started, son." I froze. I felt chills run down my spine. I broke down in tears, not from pain, but realization. I remembered why I started. Not to impress anyone, not for money, but because boxing made me feel alive. I walked back to the gym that night. The street was empty, the gym lights dim. I picked my gloves out of the trash, wiped the dust off, and whispered, "Not yet." The next morning, trained like a man possessed. No music, no talking, just the sound of my fists hitting the bag. My coach walked in and said, "You again? I thought you quit." I just smiled. I did. Now I'm back. I ran longer, hit harder, studied every mistake. Weeks turned to months. Then, one day I got a call, fight offer. A last-minute replacement match against an undefeated fighter named Malik, the Cobra. Everyone said, "Daniel, don't do it. He'll destroy you." But I said, "I'm not here to win or lose. I'm here to prove I didn't quit." Crowd cheering, lights blinding. I walked into the ring. Round 1, Malik hits me hard. I stumbles. Crowd laughs. Round 2, I was bleeding from my lip. I heard voices. "Throw in the towel." Then suddenly silence. In my mind, I heard my father's voice again. "Remember why you started." I stood up. Round 3 begins. Something changed. My eyes got sharp. I started reading every punch, countering, fighting with rhythm and fire. Every strike carries years of pain, rejection, and purpose. By round 7, Malik is tired. I saw an opening, left hook, right cross knockdown. The referee counts, 8, 9, 10. The crowd explodes. Fell to my knees, crying, not from victory, but relief. After the match, reporters asked, "What kept you standing when everyone told you to quit?" I smiled and said, "I remembered why I started." That night, after everyone had left the arena, I sat alone in the locker room. My hands were shaking, my face swollen, but my heart was quiet. I looked at my gloves, the same ones I had thrown away months ago, and whispered, "I almost gave up on this." I realized something powerful that night, that every person chasing a dream will face a moment of silence, a moment where no one believes, no one claps, and no one sees your effort. It's in that silence that most people quit. But the few who don't, the few who stay when it hurts the most, they're the ones who end up changing their story. When I got home, I didn't celebrate. I didn't post my win online. I just placed my gloves on my father's old picture and said, "I did it, Dad. I didn't quit." And in that moment, the victory wasn't about the belt, or the crowd, or the applause. It was about the promise I kept to myself. Because the truth is, every fight in life is not against another person, it's against the voice in your head telling you to stop. When your dream feels too far, when your effort feels unnoticed, when your heart screams, "I can't do this anymore," pause. Take a deep breath, and remember the moment you started. Remember that spark, that feeling you had when you first believed in yourself. That version of you is still inside, and he's waiting for you to finish what he began. Years later, I became a coach. I taught kids who came from nothing, kids who wanted to quit after one bad round, one tough loss. And every time, I will tell them, the moment you want to quit, remember why you started. Some of those kids went on to become champions, but every single one who stayed learned that the fight is never really about the ring. It's about who you become through the struggle. Maybe you're watching this right now, and you're on the edge of giving up. On your dream, your goal, your purpose, maybe even yourself. Maybe you've failed more times than you can count. Maybe nobody believes in you anymore. Maybe you've lost that fire. But listen, that fire isn't gone, it's just buried under exhaustion, doubt, and pain. Dig it out. Breathe life into it again, because your story isn't over yet. This moment, the one where you feel weakest, might just be the moment before your breakthrough. One day, you'll look back and realize you were never really losing. You were learning how to fight better. So don't give up. Don't walk away, because the version of you that started this journey deserves to see how it ends. This is Gray Knowledge. Subscribe, as I see you in the next video.